thinking of a master plan.
Yo, 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 c'est Baloo et là on est en direct de Los Angeles, on est avec Alex Avant.
Yeah.
C'est vraiment, vraiment, vraiment ouf ce qui se passe maintenant. Comme d'hab, je suis avec mon gars Raskel. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, sir, man. How you been?
I'm good, brother. You?
I'm good. Can't complain right now.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Just finished the BET experience weekend, so I'm rested now.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience.
Crazy. Was it your first time?
No, it's my third time. Yeah.
Okay.
Third time.
Yeah, third time.
Cardi B was amazing.
Yes, she was.
Mary J. Blige was.
That's what I see.
She was dancing.
Oh my God, yeah. She killed it.
18 minutes, pure, raw, crazy. It was incredible.
Yeah,
I've never seen a bad show from Mary J. ever in my life.
Is that right?
She really is the queen.
Don't go on stage after Mary J. Blige.
Okay, so for people that didn't watch the Black Godfather documentary, can you explain them what it is about? Because French people need to know about it.
I appreciate that. The Black Godfather is based off of my father, Clarence Avant. He was born in Greensboro, North Carolina, or Climax, 1931. He has been a pioneer in our industry, in the music industry in particular, for 60 years now. It's crazy. But you got to start, as you saw in the documentary, as club manager, to radio station owner, to label, record label owner, to the chairman of Motown Records after Mr. Gordy, Mr. Barry Gordy. So it's been a lot of history.
Yeah.
History. But he's worked with some of the most incredible acts in the world, so it's just been a blessing.
How would you like to rate, how did you feel about watching the documentary yourself, actually seeing everybody speak so highly of your father? I mean, I don't really know how to explain the success, on your father. Your father's one of the greatest men I ever got to read up on or got to, even see in a documentary ever. I feel like it was the best hidden secret that everybody knew about.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How'd you feel about that?
It was sensitive, because it was so much content, and it's actually, a lot more. But what the world got to see was, some of it I didn't even know myself. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah. It was quite profound, for sure.
That's crazy.
But, just from because people talk about him being in the music industry for so long, but his reach goes worldwide. And so, obviously his influence from American politics, from the Kennedy administration, the President Carter administration, the President Clinton administration, President Obama administration. So it's been a lot, and everything in between. We've had so many heads of state and dignitaries at our house. It's been wonderful, It's been wonderful as a son, and my sister, who's a couple years older than me. It's been a wild ride, man.
He's Hollywood and everybody else is president. He's the world's president to me. It's crazy.
As I said in the documentary, I said he's the celebrity, because when celebrities see him, they're like, yo, who's this mysterious figure? So it's crazy.
And you've been to Paris before, right?
I try to go to Paris every year.
You like it?
Yes.
So you speak French or?
No, je parle que français. Very little. But I go to Paris because of Roland Garros.
Okay.
I love tennis. Former tennis player. I tried it. Didn't turn pro. But nonetheless,
For real?
I love it. French Open is even though I'm American. Don't tell you.
So you know Yannick Noah, right?
Of course, Yannick Noah. Of course. 1983. Won the French Open.
You're right.
Of course. I used to wear the outfits, the Yannick Noah outfits, just because of him.
And even his son did a good job in
course,
NBA. Joachim Noah.
Of course.
Joachim Noah is
He's his son. Yeah.
I didn't know that this whole time.
Let me tell you how crazy the French, the influence. Because as an American, as someone who loved tennis, right, and we have our hero Arthur Ashe, I was more influenced by Yannick Noah.
See?
This is great.
It's crazy. Look, yeah, like, it's true. You know? See, I inspired Americans right now. You see that?
It's true. It really is. It really is.
And
I'm trying to be like him.
And
I even tried to grow some dreadlocks.
For real?
For my 5 minutes.
And I know your father had awards here, like the Aimé Césaire one. Il en a eu un aussi, let me talk to them in French. Il en a eu un aussi aux Yvelines, médaille d'Yvelines. Il a beaucoup été récompensé par la mairie de Paris. So,
Ricardo was behind all of this that you're talking about in French. Obviously, I can't translate, but he was instrumental in organizing the, for my father to receive that massive award in Paris. So, big ups to Ricardo.
Big up to Ricardo. Ricardo is the man.
So another question that I have for you is, do you feel the pressure, building up a little bit, or is, it kind of easy? Did your father ever prepare you for this?
No.
So you just kind of just rolling with the pressure. Do you feel pressure?
I don't feel as much now as I'm older, but the first 25 years, it was brutal because every single place I went, so your dad did this for me, your dad did that for me. It was constant. Yeah. So it was one of those things that you struggle, and it's one of the things that my sister and I have been very honored and privileged to grow up with a prominent family figure. Right. That being said, there comes time in your life where you have all the materialistic things you could, you feel that you can have, right. And at the same time you have nothing. Mm. So it is a very interesting thing. Growing up in Beverly, my sister and I grew up in Beverly Hills. Right. So it was like, the private jets, the supermodels, everything is amazing, right? Spending more money than you can imagine, right? But it was like, where do you go from here? Yeah. So it was a big cathartic change in my world, and that's, talk about hip hop. Mm-hmm. My favorite hip hop group of all time is Eric B. and Rakim, right? So I think it was like 88, 89, I think, when I met them. And so they were so instrumental with giving me insight into worlds that I didn't really know. Right. And obviously on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, but once again, I was loving something that's not right in front of me. Yeah. But they kind of schooled me, So it was really, really deep. So I was reading everything under the sun: philosophy, psychology, spirituality. I was just dabbling in everything till this day. So big ups to Eric and Rakim for that. My favorite of all time. I talk to them on a regular too. So
that's what's up. Because if y'all didn't know, that's one of the original rap duos, that hip hop, just period. It's original hip hop.
Paid in full. I ain't no joke. Yeah. Follow the leader. Let the rhythm hit them. Chinese arithmetic.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The Punisher. 18th letter.
Come on. I got
lyrics of fury.
Look, I got one more. Celebrity question, I believe, that I was really curious about, because I've noticed that you've known everybody. I mean, I've seen Jamie Foxx talking in the documentary. You had Puff Daddy, Luda, Obama, Bill Clinton, everyone. I mean, everybody. Oprah, everyone.
No, Oprah's not talking.
Well, she's not talking, but she was in there.
It was interesting. Yes, because she's been a friend for 20-some years, maybe longer, I'm not sure. But this documentary, because there were so many people that aren't on it. And people were like, Oprah, you guys are so friendly with Oprah and this person and that person. But it was more so people that were really integrated into his world as far as business is concerned in some capacity. They were friendly with a lot of people, but I think my sister did a phenomenal job, Nicole. Yeah. She was one of the principal producers on this. And Reggie Hudlin, did his thing as a director, of course. It was just so well done. The whole Netflix team and Lisa. Pharrell did the music, and it was great. It was just great.
And this is crazy because in France, people didn't really know about your father, but once they dropped the documentary, everybody was like, how can one people did all that?
It's crazy.
It was like people was talking about your father every day since the documentary is out. And I think it really inspired people from overseas too, And my question is, I know you're working on a lot of projects. What you have going on right now?
Well, I currently work as an executive at a prestigious talent agency called Creative Artist Agency, which is CAA. We represent some of the biggest superstars in the world, from Beyonce to Will Smith to Tom Cruise to Jamie Foxx to Brad Pitt to Justin Bieber to Lionel Richie to Stevie Wonder. It's everybody, you know?
Everyone.
It's a lot.
Oh,
that's a lot.
Who's the first celebrity that you were, you can remember that was close to you at, at the youngest age you can think of?
Probably Muhammad Ali.
Who else can say that?
There's a picture. There's a picture I'll show you in my house. I think I'm like 4.
Yeah.
So I think he was probably the first, But Michael Jackson probably was the second, but
that blew my mind right now. Maybe Muhammad Ali in second, maybe Michael Jackson, guys.
Like it's nothing.
Jackson. Which is also another guy that's from Indiana that, really touches my heart. Oh my gosh. How was that, being with Michael Jackson and,
It was interesting. I think I was 9 when I first met him, and then I saw him a few times after that, and every couple of years I would see him and hang out. And I was actually in the studio when he was doing Smooth Criminal, Dirty Diana. Another song I can't remember, but in the studio,
wow.
A couple of us, it was great. And Quincy, my dad's best friend for 62 years. Quincy's Mr. Cool. Quincy is Mr. Cool. My dad, they complement each other so well. That brothership that they got is
amazing,
crazy,
I have one question. If you have any advices you will give to a young man or young woman that want to just start their own, start their own.
One of the things that was taught to me as a child, because like I said, obviously the lifestyle was amazing, but his I guess, I don't want to say teaching, his gem was really to give back and to actually bring people with you to the top. I'm clearly not at the top, but he definitely is. And so he was able, as you can see, throughout the documentary, that he was able to help and keep helping. So sometimes he didn't reach the $1 billion status, which is not his thing, His thing is how could I push people forward? That's the most important thing of his career. That he helped. End of story.
Oh, that's definitely my idol. Oh man, that just blew my whole mind right now.
You got Snoop Dogg in there too.
Exactly.
Snoop was in there.
You got Snoop with my Snoop, Luda, Puff, Jamie.
That's crazy.
Snoop is hilarious.
Snoop is the original G. He is. I don't want to just. He's the West Coast to me, and I believe that was. I don't know where y'all didn't start someone's. I don't know. There's so many people to even think about that you guys have really helped out. I think that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I told you that earlier. I talk to my friends about this all the time. Sometimes you have that thing in your back of your head, you shouldn't help certain people and stuff like that. And this whole thing just reevaluated everything in my life for a little bit. It's
the pay it forward. That's his whole thing. It's pay it forward. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. But it is, like I said, for the first 25, 30 years, it was a lot. The pressure was real because it was every day. Because he's not a celebrity, so he's behind the scenes. So people are asking all these questions how are your movements like that?
Yeah.
So and he's tough. He's tough. No real formal education, went to the 9th grade. The father was absent. So there's that disconnect too and that's for me in the emotional part of the documentary, where sometimes I feel that it's really imperative to have fathers in people's lives.
Correct.
Particularly for the kids, for the boys, So I'm, like I said, diametrically opposite. For me, someone who grew up in South Central or Compton or this, that, and the other, I became very close with a lot of those people because there was a time, as I said, when I had everything under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I had everything under the sun,
Right.
but I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you go somewhere that's not, you're accustomed to, and you're trying to find, you're like trying to find yourself. So I was hanging out with some people, they don't play with play guns. So some toy guns. So nonetheless, it was really interesting. So these people were kind of helping steer me away from that. Like, nah, you can't hang out here. So I was fascinated with this lifestyle. It was so opposite.
Right.
So they're like, nah, get your ass out of here. But it was deep. It was really deep.
So, go ahead.
What do you think needs to change in the industry to make it better?
The hate's gotta stop.
That's probably the best, simplest answer.
Because you can't pay it forward. Because you're suppressing a culture. And everybody starts to steal from the culture.
Right.
Then you start blaming everybody else, but you gotta blame yourself.
Exactly.
All relationships are unconscious reflections of yourself. All relationships are unconscious reflections of yourself.
I'm about to write that down and put that on my wall.
It's crazy because we talked about it maybe last week.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's crazy. So what is actually the next thing or the next artist or the next project that's coming from you right now? If we can check it out right after this, we put this out. Where are we going to be finding you at next?
Well,
Other than the beach.
Well, it's different because, like I said, I work at a talent agency, so I sit not a talent agent. I'm an executive at a talent agency because I'm also producing partners with Flavor Unit. So we have a licensing deal at Netflix right now. So we acquire content, and films, and put it through the Netflix pipeline if it makes sense. But big up to Shakim and Latifah for sure. I've known them for 20 years. And
Queen Latifah.
The Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Queen. Shakim was my guy, my brother, big bro mentor. But yeah, we got some stuff coming up with that. I'm doing a project with Jamie Foxx, but that's not coming out for a while. It's not coming out till 2020.
Okay.
And have you ever collaborated with an artist or businessman from France?
I haven't, but what's up?
Oh, okay. Say no more.
We're going to get that together for sure.
That's another thing. That's what it's about too. It's about the collaboration. It's the building of the friendships. Figure out a way to break this whole tension. Right. And even overseas. And we have to. We should respect people from other countries in their swag and so forth, and hip hop and their style and everything. We're not the only one.
Yeah.
And on top of that, who said we're the best one?
Exactly. Exactly.
So in people in Africa, I had a chance to. I actually shot a movie with Wesley Snipes. I was one of the producers of a movie called Gala Walker that was we shot in Namibia, which I love Africa. I had the honor to travel with President Clinton and his delegation to Ethiopia, Rwanda, Senegal, Liberia. It was beautiful what he was doing. But he was there obviously for his mission, of course. We're all still serving him there, of course. But he was there to eradicate and reduce the cost of medicine for HIV and AIDS, and
it
was really powerful to see
in Africa.
In Africa, yeah. But at nighttime I'm sitting there trying to find and talk to people who listen to hip hop and so forth. Yeah. It was funny. But
because we talk about Africa, the Afrobeat sound is really taking over the world. Yeah. In Europe it's kind of the number one genre with hip hop. We got in Nigeria, we got people like Burna Boy, Davido. Do you think y'all gonna collab with people like this?
I think so. What's interesting? What I was told, and I think you can Google it as well, because it's just everything you can Google. It's crazy. But I think the word on the street is that Rihanna's doing kind of Jamaican sound,
Mhm.
I think, for the next album.
Yeah,
You hear
I was
that?
hearing about that.
Yeah, I heard
Album
about
will be a straight
I
island.
can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I
wanna
think
see
it's a new
what's
wave,
going
like the
on.
Afro sound,
Yeah.
the Jamaican sound, are gonna be big soon.
Okay, it's incredible. It
Sure,
should.
sure.
It should land right here as well.
Yeah.
'Cause we need it.
Yeah, we do.
You know, because the things are just, not to say that it's stale, but it's just like we need
Something else, a
Something
little more
else.
vibration going on just for a second. A little bit more mix.
It's definitely not stale, but
Right.
it's just, expand a little bit, diversify,
Yeah.
We're gonna end this interview with a little challenge. I'm gonna teach you how to speak French.
Oh,
I have to do it. What do you want to learn? You want to learn like a sentence?
how all the French girls, that's what I want to know. I want to talk to the French girl.
Okay, I got you.
That's what I need.
Let me know one.
Whatever.
Okay.
What do you think I should say?
What you say?
I'm not
What does Baloo say when he holler at a girl?
Yeah. Come on, Baloo.
Okay.
What's up?
Comment ça va mean how are you?
I know that. Comment ça va?
Tu es belle mean you are beautiful.
Say, comment ça va?
Tu es belle.
Tu
Es
es
belle.
Tu es belle.
Yeah,
Comment ça va? Tu es belle.
Tu es belle.
Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Tu es belle.
Je peux
Je peux
avoir
avoir
ton numéro. Ton
tu
numéro.
numéro.
You mean can I have your number?
Oh, I like that. Say it again.
Je peux
Je peux
avoir
avoir
ton
ton
numéro.
numéro.
Yeah.
But avoir is goodbye.
No, avoir, not au revoir. Avoir is
It's too
to
close.
have.
I was about to say, I don't want her to leave me.
No, avoir, not au revoir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Je peux avoir ton numéro?
Wait, you said too fast.
Je peux
Je peux
avoir ton numéro.
ton numéro.
Yeah.
There we go. Was it good? Not bad?
Yeah. Thanks.
gotta
It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
It's an inspiration. You are an
Yes,
inspiration.
It's super inspiration, bro. For real, for real. I really thank you.
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you, man.
For real.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. On est ensemble. On est avec Alex Avant et Rascal.
Yo, yo. Cheers.